Aaron.
Yeah.
Why didn't you say it the first time I said Aaron?
Because it's pronounced Aaron?
You done messed up, Aaron!
Aaron is here. Welcome back, everybody, for more SPTV, where every day is a great day not to be in a cult. Okay, guys, I wanted to bring you some actual documents regarding Flavio Lugli and his parents in Italy who have been trying to reach him for over 10 years. This was a very dedicated, hardcore Scientology family. Claudio Lugli and Renato Lugli have two boys, Flavio and Tiziano. And I think those are the only children that they have. If they have more, I don't know. Is there a sister? I don't know. The ones that I'm aware of are Flavio and Tiziano. Their son Tiziano. The family's out most. Claudio and Renata out of Scientology. Their son Tiziano out of Scientology. Their son Flavio still working in Scientology's C organization. I've been doing videos recently trying to persuade David Miscavige to order Flavio to call his parents on the phone. And I'm here tonight to give you some of the documents to explain why. What is it that's happened? What recourse have the parents already attempted? And let's just get right into it. So here is an email. This was back in 2020, so about 5 years ago, that Flavio Lugli's parents from Italy contacted the Clearwater, Florida chief of police, Daniel Slaughter, to get a welfare check conducted on their son, who has had medical problems throughout his life. So here is an email with the then Clearwater Police Chief Dan Slaughter regarding, well, it says Lavio, but his name is Flavio. Okay, so it says, thank you for the additional information. I'm working on checking on Flavio and will advise you as soon as I have some information to share. Chief Slaughter. Yep, that's his real name. Okay, later the same day, Chief Slaughter messages Claudio Lugli saying, I was able to meet with Flavio in person and talk with him this afternoon. Flavio is in good health, good shape, and advised me that he's doing fine. I offered Flavio your contact information, but he very politely indicated he did not want to return your message. I am sorry that I did not want to return your message, but hope that my reassurance he is healthy and well provides you some comfort. I hope you and your family remain healthy throughout this pandemic. Sincerely, Chief Slaughter. Someone asked me in an earlier video or commented, like, isn't it possible that the brainwashing, the cult conditioning is such that Flavio no longer wishes to speak with his parents? And I said, oh yes, absolutely. In fact, it's beyond any shadow of a doubt. But the operative, the emphasis there is on the fact that as ex-Scientologists, we know that as Scientologists, we convinced ourselves that Scientology's policies of enforced familial disconnection were all for the greater good, and it is all as L. Ron Hubbard said it should be. But the fact is, the reason that Scientologists like Flavio, and that we, formerly, when we were formerly Scientologists, the reasons we believe this way is because the authorities told us we had to. And it's just a fact. So sure, is Flavio a grown adult who is going to say he doesn't want to talk to his parents? Absolutely. But the way I see it, if we raised enough of a stink, the powers that be in Scientology, especially David Miscavige, he has the authority to say, okay, Flavio, this whole thing is resulting in an awful lot of noise and distraction and embarrassment. Call your parents, tell them you're fine, put this to rest. So anyway, this is as reflected in Chief Slaughter's email. Flavio indicated he did not wish to communicate with his parents. Before his parents fell out of favor with Scientology, the Lugli family was a very, very close-knit family. There has never been any falling out between Flavio and his parents or the rest of his family members, other than Scientology said Flavio's family members were bad people now, and he wasn't allowed to speak to them. So as a good little cult member, he said, of course that's true. And of course that's what I want. That's just the way it is when you're in a cult. Okay. Claudio responded to Chief Slaughter and said, hi, Chief Slaughter. We are really thankful for your fast intervention. It was years since we had news regarding Flavio, and this worry never left us. So the fact that he is in good health and doing fine is really easing the pain we feel every day caused by this absurd disconnection. We expected he would not want to return our message. We know very well how those policies work. So definitely your reassurance is a great comfort for us. We will do everything possible to remain healthy in this pandemic, even if the brunt is becoming really unbearable. The hope to be able to see Flavio again in the future will always be with us. Again, thank you very, very much for your support. For us, it has been of great value. Claudio and Renata. Okay. After this wellness check, which was back in 2020, about 2 years ago, Claudio and Renata received word from a Scientologist who had just spent some time with Flavio that he'd been diagnosed with hyperthyroidism and that he was not doing well and that he had been put onto a reduced medical schedule, which in the Sea Org means you're not doing well. Reduced medical schedules is usually something that is reserved for very senior citizen Sea Org members who are quite literally just too old and sick to be able to work the normal 120-hour a week Sea Org schedule. For someone like Flavio, who I think is perhaps 48 years old right now, for someone like Flavio to be put onto a reduced medical schedule means he is not well. And instead of continuing to try to get, and there were 2 more attempts to get the Clearwater police to do a wellness check. My understanding is that the police simply checked with Scientology. Scientology said Flavio was fine, and the police didn't actually agree to initiate a wellness check and personally see Flavio. So Flavio's parents tried to do it the right way, or, you know, what Scientology might consider to be the right way. And they had their attorney contact one of Scientology's attorneys, not with any sort of a threat, but just to try to get proper information through proper channels. So let me share this with you. And just to show you that I'm not making this up, here's the original Italian version, the original legal letter in Italian, okay? And I will read for you the English translation. Okay. Attention, Office of Special Affairs, National Church of Scientology of Italy. This was sent with certified mail. Now, this is really interesting to me because in Scientology, there's a very firm policy. Scientology organizations are not permitted to accept certified mail. L. Ron Hubbard said so, and so it has been ever since. Probably because they didn't want to accept any legal notices or legal services through registered mail or certified mail or anything. And so anyway, let's just read this together because very clearly Scientology received the letter because they did acknowledge the letter. Okay. So this is December 19th, 2023. Okay. So this is less than 2 years ago. Subject, Mr. Flavio Lugli, National Church of Scientology. I'm writing on behalf of Mr. and Mrs. Renata. Oh, Frucella Lugli. Okay. Mr. and Mrs. Renata Frucella Lugli and Claudio Lugli, parents of Mr. Flavio Lugli, a member of your organization at the Flag Land Base. They have informed me that their son Flavio is suffering from hyperthyroidism with presumed serious effects on his metabolism, nervous system, and heart. The condition appears severe, as evidenced by the fact that his working hours have been specifically reduced, a rare measure within your organization, which decreases working hours only in cases of serious illness. I've also been informed that resorting to traditional medicine and orthodox medical treatment is not well regarded within the Church of Scientology, which instead gives priority almost exclusively to an approach focused on the spiritual aspects of illness. This concern is supported by a number of tragic incidents, such as, to cite one, the case of Lisa McPherson, who, not having received proper medical care, died of dehydration. This event occurred precisely at the Flag Land Base in Clearwater, Florida, where Flavio currently lives and works. It therefore appears that there is a serious, well-founded risk that Flavio has not received and is not receiving medical care adequate to the seriousness of his illness. The practice of disconnection requires parishioners to sever all ties with those not aligned with the directives of the church, including Flavio's parents. As a result, they are unable to know in detail what his actual health condition is. The protection of a constitutionally guaranteed right, such as the right to health, clearly prevails over any policy or internal regulation that may harm it. I therefore hereby urge and formally demand that this office inform my law firm of the current physical condition of Mr. Flavio Lugli, and that you ensure he contacts his parents or this office as soon as possible so that his state of health can be verified, and if necessary, so that he may be repatriated to Italy to receive all necessary medical treatment. Should no contact be made within 3 days of receipt of this letter, the matter will be immediately reported to the public prosecutor. I got to tell you, I think that was a badass letter. One of the things I love the most about this letter is how accurate and fair it is. No exaggerations, no hyperbolic statements, no broad sweeping generalities. I was incredibly impressed with this letter. You'll notice they're not demanding that they're not demanding anything unreasonable at all, but to know the condition of their son. Do they specifically ask for a phone call to ensure that he contacts his parents? Yes, that's true. But there's two separate requests. One request was just to please give us the information of how he is doing. And separately, please ensure that he calls his parents. Okay. All right. This is the original Italian version of the response that they got. Notice it does not come from a lawyer or anything. Here is the translated version. Dear attorney, as a matter of mere courtesy, we acknowledge receipt of your registered letter dated December 19, 2023, which reached us on January 5th, 2024. Why would it take 2 weeks for a registered letter to be received? We are certain that both you and Mr. and Mrs. Lugli know without any shadow of a doubt that this office has no contact whatsoever with Mr. Flavio Lugli, minister of the church in Clearwater, which, like all local entities, operates in complete autonomy. Therefore, your letter addressed to us can only be regarded as a disruptive action. Sincerely, National Church of Scientology of Italy. What a load of horse shit. Them contacting because to be honest, I don't even know what the National Church of Scientology of Italy means. Like, I don't know what that means. That's not necessarily, I was going to say that's not a thing in Scientology, but sometimes David Miscavige will create some unique thing and all of a sudden it's a thing, even though it's not a thing in Scientology. So I'll give you an example of what I mean. National Church of Scientology of Italy. There's no National Church of Scientology of the US. There's no National Church of Scientology of Canada. There's no National Church of Scientology of Mexico. I don't know what that means. Now, if I recall correctly, if anyone in the live chat knows the answer to this, please jump in and I'll pick up the comment later. Wait, no, I was going to say Madrid. I was going to say, did David Miscavige make Madrid the National Church of Scientology of Italy? But spoiler alert, Madrid is in Spain. Okay, so it's possible that in some of these countries, David Miscavige has taken the biggest, most beautiful church and in that country and called it the National Church. So like, it's possible that Madrid is called also the National Church of Scientology of Spain. I couldn't even tell you what the National Church of Scientology of Italy is. I've never heard any of the Italian orgs referred to as that. Anyway, what's my point? My point is that it is totally reasonable to reach out to your local Church of Scientology, at which point it would be referred to the Director of Special Affairs of that Church of Scientology. The Director of Special Affairs of the local organization would coordinate with the Director of Special Affairs at the Continental Management Unit. That Continental Director of Special Affairs, or commanding officers, they would call it the CO, the COOSA at that point. The COOSA for the continent would then coordinate with the COOSA of the flagland base. It is totally, totally normal to do it the way that Claudio and Renata did it. And this is the bullshit games that Scientology plays. You know perfectly well we have nothing to do with that autonomous organization in Clearwater that we don't know anything about. It's just total bullshit, smoke and mirrors, mind games. Okay. There was a follow-up letter. The Luglis sent a follow-up letter. Here's the original Italian version, just so you know that I'm not making up my own Word documents here. Nice, beautiful letter on official letterhead. Gotta love it. Gorgeous. Okay, here's the English version. Okay. And my understanding is Daria. So this is this lawyer, Daria. I believe it is an actual lawyer. Yeah, lawyer, Daria Pesce. That is an actual lawyer for Scientology. It's not just a staff member at the local Scientology organization. Okay, so this is January 2024. Okay, dear colleague. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Okay, so this is the letter that Scientology's lawyer. So Scientology is now having their lawyer send a legal threat to the Lugleys. That's what we're reading here now. Dear colleague, your clients, Mr. and Mrs. Renata Lugli and Claudio Lugli, have for years harassed their son, Flavio Lugli, minister of the Church of Scientology, and my client by fabricating non-existent and unfounded illnesses allegedly affecting him. You get that, guys? They're harassing their son. They're not trying to make sure their son is okay. They're not trying to make sure their son is receiving the medical treatment that he needs. They're not offering to help him receive any medical treatment that he needs in Italy. They're not doing that, guys. It's harassment, okay? Keep that in mind. Since 2011, your clients have repeatedly claimed that their son is in serious psychophysical condition, supposedly due to distrust shown by both the Church of Scientology and by Flavio himself toward traditional medicine. This claim is absolutely groundless and untrue. I would point out that in 2020, the chief of the local police contacted and met with my client. Whoa. I thought these were autonomous organizations that had nothing to do with each other. All of a sudden, the attorney in Italy knows what was happening with the Clearwater police all the way away in Florida, the New World. Wait, I thought they had complete autonomy. I must have been mistaken. I must have been completely mistaken. I would point out that in 2020, the chief of the local police contacted and met with my client, finding him in excellent condition. Hold on. A Scientology minister in Clearwater, Florida is being represented by an attorney in Italy? How would this occur? How would such a thing occur? I mean, I thought there was no coordination between Italy. I thought everything had complete autonomy. There was no way to communicate or anything. I don't know. How did a minister in Clearwater, Florida obtain, who gets paid $47 a week, obtain counsel in Italy? This is so confusing to me, you guys. Oh my God. Okay. All right, I'll just pick up from here. I would point out that in 2020, the chief of the local police contacted and met with my client, finding him in excellent condition, thereby disproving the parents' false assumptions. Yes, and I would point out at the time of this letter, that was 4 years earlier, and they had received updated information that his condition was not well. Okay, it continues. Neither the Church of Scientology nor Flavio has ever been opposed to traditional medicine. Oh my God. All Scientologists make ample use of doctors and specialists whenever they deem it necessary. The phrase "whenever they deem it necessary" is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that letter, because technically speaking, that is true. Whenever they deem it necessary. The problem is that based on Scientology's beliefs that anything that's wrong with you physically has a source of what's wrong with you spiritually and mentally. And at the higher levels of Scientology, Scientology's belief is that anything that's wrong with you physically is being caused by the hundreds of thousands of alien spirits that are stuck to your body, that are projecting onto you their spiritual trauma. And that the only real way to get rid of your physical ailments, including cancer, is to get rid of the alien beings that are causing your cancer. That is why Scientologists tend not to seek medical care in these circumstances until way too late. It's true that Scientologists are not prohibited from seeing a doctor. It's just that their beliefs indicate going to a doctor isn't what's going to fix them. And so they only go to the doctor at the last moment when their Scientology auditing hasn't fixed them. It's really tragic. Okay. At present, my client enjoys excellent health, and contrary to what was alleged by his parents in your recent letter, he is not suffering from any serious pathological condition. It is evident that all the correspondence you have addressed to my client constitutes a strong accuse against the Church of Scientology. In light of the above, I formally demand that Mr. and Mrs. Lugli immediately cease their aggravated and ongoing harassment, whether by ordinary email or by registered mail, against Flavio Lugli as a member of the Church of Scientology. Imagine considering writing registered letters to your son harassment. Imagine considering trying to email people in Scientology about your son's health harassment. It's truly sick. Okay. The letter continues. Failing this, I will be forced to file a formal criminal complaint with the public prosecutor's office at the court of Brescia without further notice. Sincerely, attorney Daria Pesca. If I'm pronouncing that right. Well, since Scientology threatened Flavio's parents with criminal prosecution and formal criminal complaints if they continued to attempt to contact their son Flavio, it would be sincerely my deep honor to pick up the mantle of harassment in trying to make sure that Flavio is okay. And me and the rest of the Clearwater crew have been doing just that. And it is my distinct honor and pleasure with you to share with you some examples of just how we are taking up the mantle of trying to get Flavio to call his parents. And Flavio, even if you don't want to call your parents, you know damn well that when David Miscavige finally orders the RTC reps to order the MAA to order you to call your parents, you are perfectly able and willing to do so. So now you'll notice that the communication between the Luglis and Scientology has been going through the Office of Special Affairs and through Scientology's attorneys, who are all managed by the Office of Special Affairs. Because this has been a matter taken up by the Office of Special Affairs is why I decided to go down to the Clearwater Bank building and speak to my good old friend, Pat, who works for the Office of Special Affairs. That's why I went to Pat, since she works for OSA, to ask her for help in getting Flavio to call her parents. It was at that point that I was battered by Andrew Shape, and then Scientology went to the police to file a false police report against me and are now trying to get me arrested, saying I pushed Andrew Shape. None of the sort happened. Now, after that incident with Andrew Shape, there was another Sea Org member from the Office of Special Affairs wandering around the streets of Clearwater. So I thought she might be willing to help me with this. And I asked her if she would be willing to help me with this. And I'd like to share with you that conversation now. If I can share the right page, here we go.
Ma'am, you're a Sea Org member. I have two Scientology parents that are trying to get in touch with their son, Flavio Lugli. You work with the Office of Special Affairs, right? They've been trying to reach their son for 10 years. He has a medical condition. It's called hyperthyroidism. You know Claudio and Renato Lugli? They used to be COB's tailors. They're high-level Scientologists in Italy. Flavio is the superpower auditor posted at the Flag building. And I'm just wondering, why is it that Flavio's not allowed to contact his parents on the telephone? Is there a reason that Scientology is trying to keep Flavio away from his parents? Why does Scientology destroy families this way?
Guys, I promise you, this is a Sea Org member with the Office of Special Affairs, not just some random disoriented old lady wandering the streets of Clearwater on a Friday afternoon.
His parents even had a lawyer contact the Office of Special Affairs in Italy, and Office of Special Affairs threatened his parents with legal action if they continued to try to get a hold of their son, Flavio. Why does Scientology treat families this way? Is there a reason? Ma'am, are you lost? Do you need help? Are you trying to escape? You're staring up into the sky like you're searching for something. Are you okay? Do you need a locational? Do you need some water? Should I call a volunteer minister? Okay, so is Flavio Lugli okay? His parents are very concerned. They've asked for welfare checks on him 3 times, and they've been having difficulty reaching him. Is there anyone in Scientology that I can talk to, that I can encourage his parents to reach out to, that will help them reach their son, Flavio? Is there anyone in Scientology that can help Flavio Lugli's parents speak with him? Is there anyone in Scientology that his parents can reach out to for help in reaching their son? They haven't been able to speak with him in 10 years. They're very worried. You probably know Claudio and Renata Lugli, right? Because you work in the Office of Special Affairs. Can I have them contact you directly? They're very concerned about the welfare of their son. Is Flavio okay? Can they get some proof of life? Is there any way for Claudio's parents? Is there any way for Flavio's parents to have a phone call with him? All his parents are asking for is a phone call. Is there any way they can get a phone call, ma'am? Sir, is there any way that Flavio Lugli's parents can have a phone call with him, sir?
Incredible, right? I mean, absolutely incredible. And you know, I don't want to assume that everyone watching this video right now is already familiar with the little incident that I just mentioned with Andrew Shape.
Pat,
So
I knew I
just for shits and giggles, let me show you guys that as well. Here we go.
could come here and ask you for help. Pat, I knew I could come here and ask you for help. Claudio and Renata Lugli have been trying to reach their son for the last 10 years. Is there any way that you could allow Flavio Lugli to contact his parents?
Aaron?
They're trying to reach him. Ow! Ow! What did you just do? You just hurt me. You just injured my foot. This isn't trespassing. You're lying. This is the property line. The property line is right here. You just committed battery on me. I can't believe you did that. You know perfectly well the property line is the door, not here. You can't hurt people. You can't put your hands on people, Andrew. Andrew, private property begins at the door. You know that. You can't put your hands on people, Andrew. You can't injure people. Scientologists aren't above the law.
Okay, there you go. Now on Saturday, so the conversations I just showed with you, one with Andrew, one with the Sea Org woman, those were both on Friday afternoon. But on Saturday, the Flag Land Base was hosting a Way to Happiness banquet in the auditorium of the Fort Harrison Hotel. And they invited a lot of people, including, strangely, a lot of non-Scientologist locals. Well, guys, me and the Clearwater crew were out there asking every single person who walked into the hotel if they could please, if they see Claudio in there, tell him his parents love him and want to speak with him. And for the Scientologist walking in, we said, please, when you go in there, please ask the MAA to give Flavio permission to contact his parents. Let me just try to show you some of the highlights. I don't have timestamps here, but we were literally doing it to everyone. So let's just see what I can share with you guys here. Here's an example of two people that seem to be non-Scientologists. It was incredible because they actually listened.
Yeah, it's hard. Ma'am, if you see, do you know Flavio Lugli? He's a superpower auditor. His parents have been trying to reach him for 10 years. He's got health problems, and they've been trying to get in contact with him, and Scientology won't let him contact his parents. If you see him in there, could you just tell him his parents love him, and they just want a phone call, you know? Flavio Lugli. He's Italian. Thank you. Thank you so much, guys.
Okay, I'm gonna keep. I'm just literally gonna show as many of these to you as. Oh my God, is that Andrea Butterworth? Is that where I saw Andrea Butterworth? Hold on.
Sir, we're looking for Flavio Lugli. His family hasn't seen him in 10 years. Can you send out Flavio? His mom wants to know why they can't speak with him on the phone. Flavio Lugli. Are you guys here for the event? Guys, we're looking for Flavio Lugli. Andrea, I'm really disappointed.
Guys, it's Andrea Butterworth. Again, she was my senior in the Sea Org. She was the chief officer. I was the tech sec. We were really good friends. We were friends before the Sea Org when she was a Sacramento staff member and I was a Philly staff member. She's one of the people who did a hate video about me. I guess maybe she lives in Clearwater now. I'm so disgusted that someone who grew up in Scientology and saw all the abuse and saw all the cover-ups is now raising her own kids in Scientology. And I tell her so.
Wanted to see you raising your children. Are you guys here for the event? Guys, we're looking for Flavio Lugli. Andrea, I'm really disappointed to see you raising your children in Scientology after the abuse that you've witnessed, Andrea. It's absolutely disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Ladies and gentlemen, we're looking for Flavio Lugli. His family hasn't seen him in 10 years. Do you know Flavio Lugli? Flavio? His mother's been trying to reach him for 10 years and they won't let him call her. Flavio Lugli, sir, could you send him out? Flavio? Could you send Flavio out? His mother's Andrea Butterworth. I see you in there. I see you, Andrea.
Oh my God.
Sir, we're looking for Flavio Lugli. Sir, Flavio, he's a superpower auditor. How can we reach him? Can you send out someone from OSA? Comes an OSA guy.
All right, I gotta find more.
Senior
Gotta
in
find
this.
more.
Here's OSA. Our family's been trying to find Flavio Lugli, right? Here, let's talk to these people. Guys, I'm sure you can help us find Flavio Lugli, right? He's a superpower auditor. His family's been trying to reach him for 10 years. Flavio Lugli. Could you have someone from OSA or HCO come out? We're looking for Flavio Lugli. He's a superpower auditor.
Okay, I don't want to fast forward a little bit.
Speak with him for 10 years.
I mean, we are literally going to make it almost impossible to put on an event anywhere in Clearwater at any of the Scientology buildings without asking every person who walks in the buildings to help us contact Flavio Lugli and get him in touch with his parents.
Can you send Flavio out? Could you send a message to Flavio from his mother and father? They're trying to speak with him. We would greatly appreciate knowing that Flavio's okay. Can you send out Flavio, please? Flavio Lugli. Flavio Lugli.
Right,
hey, wait for ma'am, the door here. Sir, if you see Flavio Lugli, just please tell him his parents have been trying to reach him for 10 years and they love him and they wish he would call home. Scientology won't let him contact his parents because they're a human trafficking cult. Ma'am, you missed your entrance. Ma'am, the door's over here. Ma'am, that front door's over here. I know it's confusing. Please send out Flavio Lugli. We're going to talk to every single person until Flavio Lugli calls his parents. We're talking to every single Scientologist that walks by until Flavio Lugli calls his parents. Every single person. Every single one.
I'm sorry. I have way too much fun with this. Like it is not even fair to Scientology how much I enjoy this. It's not even remotely fair. There was some other really good interactions, including with Scientologists. Here, look. This is typical of a lot of the people that were walking in. There was a lot of non-Scientologists coming into this event. And some of the non-Scientologists that we would talk to would be like, I know they're a cult. We don't support them. We don't support them. And we'd be like, then why are you here at the event? And we could never get an answer. Here's a perfect example of two young people walking in saying, we don't support them. We don't support them. Check this out. Oh.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Here we go.
Call them. They haven't spoken to him in 10 years. Guys, if you find Flavio Lugli in there, can you? Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you.
He said we agree with you.
What are the flowers for? The Way to Happiness event? If you see Flavio Lugli, can you tell him his parents are trying to reach him? Oh, okay. What are the flowers for, though? Did you?
You see, literally, they're like, we don't support them. We don't support them. We don't support them. And if I can scroll through this fast enough, there was one lady who actually specifically stopped to speak with us to explain that she's not a Scientologist, but she comes to events here sometimes for the food, and she has a local radio station, and she has an interview show that she does, and I'll probably do a breakout video of that. Okay, let's see. Ricardo Meatballs, Scientology's hired security pro. Ricardo Meatballs is his pet name. His real name is Ricardo, Dequevedo, Dequevedo, Ricardo Dequevedo. But I mean, he's like an American. I mean, he's not like, I guess his heritage is probably Spanish, but he's a retired NYPD detective. I was giving Ricardo some heat during this event. Some of the stuff might have been a little mean, and some of the stuff might have been a little informational. I do not know which clip this is, but let's see.
Well, I'm not in the Sea Org anymore. I don't work for free. I know you don't work for free either. You're cashing those checks. I recognize you. Yeah. Hey, Flavio Lugli's mother's been trying to reach him for 10 years, Ricardo. Could you go ask your boss, Jose, if they could send Claudio Lugli out? By the way, we found your LLC, and we found we found your file with the NYPD. I'm going to do a video about that next week. It's been good knowing you. I'm sure once we expose your entire history with the NYPD, you're not going to be much use to Scientology anymore. But in the meantime, we're going to be out here talking to every single person that comes to this event about Scientology being a human trafficking cult, and about the fact that Flavio Lugli's parents haven't been able to speak to him in 10 years. 10 years.
Guys, it's just not fair. The deck is totally stacked in my favor. As long as I can stay out of jail, we're going to have a lot of fun over the next few months. You know, I'm probably going to go through this video. It's a 90-minute video, and put a little compilation together of every single person that we spoke to and publish it as a standalone video. I won't make you guys watch any more highlights on this, but we had an absolute blast, and we will not rest until David Miscavige orders Flavio to call his parents. It doesn't matter what he says. He could call them to tell them he's fine and never talk to him again. That's fine. We want his parents to hear his voice, not just a letter from some Scientology attorney. I see. Linda is like, please don't make us have to use hashtag free Aaron. I'm going to do my best. I promise. Okay. Here's some starred comments. George Massey, let's make it a Hill 10 flap and get the press involved. Absolutely. Super stormy day. David Miscavige never gives in unless he knows he's about to lose. That's true. Escaping the cultiverse, eh? I'm sure he believes staying disconnected is the greatest good for the greatest number of dynamics. Yep. Powerlized to paralyzed. The thyroid is in the path of the E-meter's current. Just saying. Oh, interesting. Gabrielle, if not properly treated, you can go into cardiac arrest because of the elevated heart rate. Holly Scott, I'm guessing the whole family is out. Yes, I believe Flavio is the only member of the family remaining in. Gabrielle, they're just making shit up on the national org thing. Yes. Beagle Mom, is his visa expired? Why can't they get a wellness check done by the police? Maybe ICE needs to raid them. I think it's reasonable to assume Flavio may be a citizen by now. Like, I mean, he's certainly been married to multiple people. Would he have a green card by now? I'm guessing there's not a visa situation. And I am guessing, just my guess, that the police would say, we've already done a wellness check. And the last time we did the wellness check, everything was perfectly fine. Oh, I left this can here. How unprofessional of me. Oh, see, because I'm missing my trash can. That's been sitting there the whole time as a little Easter egg. I'm guessing the police are like, we have to have a reason to believe that he needs to be checked on again. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what policies and procedures govern the police's decision-making on wellness checks, but I guess perhaps since they already checked on him once and he was fine, and Scientology is at least telling the police, yeah, he's still fine. Honestly, I don't know. What keeps the police from being like, okay, good. Well, if he's just fine, can you just let us say hi to him for 5 seconds? Like, why don't the police say that? I don't know. Maybe there's a good reason. I just don't know. All right, guys, let's see. It's 9 o'clock. I really want to do another video tonight, but we'll see. I say that all the time. But I don't want to keep George up too late. All right, we'll see. Hang in there. Maybe I'll do one tonight. Maybe I won't. I think I will, but no matter what, I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for hanging out with me.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not,